An electrical tap conductor, as defined by the National Electrical Code Section 420.2, is any conductor that isn't a service conductor that's connected to an overcurrent protection device that's rated higher than what's normally allowed for the conductor's size. The key thing to remember is that a tap conductor is essentially drawing power from a larger conductor, but it itself is not protected at its ampacity. For example, consider a scenario where you have number 2 American wire gauge copper conductors, which are typically rated for 60 amps, connected to a 100 amp breaker. If this number 2 conductor is feeding a subpanel, it is acting as a tap. A 100 amp breaker is protecting the larger conductors upstream, but not the number 2 conductors themselves. The National Electrical Code sets the rules for how to properly size and protect conductors based on their ampacity, which is the maximum current they can safely carry. This is to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. Section 240.4 provides the general requirements for overcurrent protection of conductors. It dictates that conductors must be protected against overcurrent in accordance with their ampacities. This means that the overcurrent protection device, like a circuit breaker or fuse, must be sized to protect the conductor from carrying more current than it is rated for. However, there are exceptions to this rule, which allow for tap conductors under certain conditions. These exceptions are specifically designed to allow for the use of tap conductors in situations where it is impractical or impossible to provide overcurrent protection at the point where the tap is made. Firstly, tap conductors cannot be longer than 10 feet and must be enclosed in a raceway. The ampacity of the tap conductor must not be less than the combined calculated loads on the circuits supplied by the tap conductors, and not less than the rating of the device supplied by the tap conductors, or not less than the overcurrent protective device at the termination of the tap conductors. The tap conductor cannot extend beyond the switchboard, panel board, disconnect, or controlled devices it supplies. Secondly, tap conductors cannot be longer than 25 feet and must be protected from physical damage and must have an ampacity not less than 1/3 of the rating of the overcurrent device protecting the feeder or branch circuit conductors from which they are tapped. The tap conductors must terminate in a single circuit breaker or a single set of fuses that will limit the load to the ampacity of the tap conductors. The overcurrent device must be rated not more than the tap conductor's ampacity. Thirdly, tap conductors are used in high bay manufacturing facilities greater than 35 feet high, where qualified personnel service the equipment. The length of the tap conductor cannot exceed 25 feet horizontally and 100 feet total, and the ampacity of the tap must not be less than 1/3 of the rating of the overcurrent device protecting the feeder or branch circuit conductors from which they are tapped. The tap conductors must terminate in a single circuit breaker or a single set of fuses that will limit the load to the ampacity of the tap conductors. The overcurrent device must be rated not more than the tap conductor's ampacity. Fourthly, feeder tap conductors can be used for field-installed high-current tap conductors. The length of the tap conductor cannot exceed 30 feet and the ampacity of the tap must not be less than 1/3 of the rating of the overcurrent device protecting the feeder or branch circuit conductors from which they are tapped. The tap conductors must terminate in a single circuit breaker or a single set of fuses that will limit the load to the ampacity of the tap conductors. The overcurrent device must be rated not more than the tap conductor's ampacity. It is important to remember that these tap rules are very specific and must be followed exactly. Failure to do so can create a dangerous situation. In the example with number 2 copper conductors and a 100 amp breaker, it is crucial to verify that the tap conductors meet the requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code. If the 60-foot feeder is acting as a tap, it may not be properly protected, as number 2 copper conductors are rated for 60 amps. This would be a violation of the code and could create a fire hazard. It is also important to remember that the National Electrical Code is a minimum standard. It is always best to err on the side of caution and provide more protection than is required. In this case, it may be advisable to install a smaller breaker to protect the number 2 copper conductors, even if it is not required by the code. The tap rule applies to both feeder taps and branch circuit taps. A feeder tap is a tap that is made from a feeder, which is a conductor that carries power from the service equipment to a subpole or other distribution point. The branch circuit tap is a tap that is made from a branch circuit, which is a circuit that supplies power to one or more outlets or devices. The rules for tap conductors are generally the same for both feeder taps and branch circuit taps. However, there are some exceptions. For example, the tap rule allows for the use of tap conductors in certain types of lighting fixtures. These exceptions are designed to allow for the use of tap conductors in situations where it is impractical or impossible to provide overcurrent protection at the point where the tap is made. When working with electrical systems, it's crucial to understand the concept of overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices, like circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect conductors and equipment from damage caused by excessive current flow. When a conductor carries more current than it is rated for, it can overheat and potentially cause a fire. Overcurrent protection devices are designed to trip or blow when the current exceeds a certain level, thereby interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing damage. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be carefully selected to match the ampacity of the conductor it is protecting. If the overcurrent protection device is too large, it will not trip or blow when the conductor is overloaded, and the conductor could overheat and cause a fire. If the overcurrent protection device is too small, it will trip or blow unnecessarily, causing nuisance tripping and disrupting power to the circuit. When working with tap conductors, it's essential to understand how overcurrent protection applies. The tap conductor itself must be protected by an overcurrent protection device that is sized to match its ampacity. This overcurrent protection device can be located at the point where the tap is made, or it can be located downstream from the tap. If the overcurrent protection device is located downstream from the tap conductor must meet certain requirements to ensure that it is properly protected. Understanding the tap rules and the requirements for overcurrent protection is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical systems. Always consult the National Electrical Code and other applicable codes and standards when designing and installing electrical systems. In the specific case of the 60-foot feeder connected to a 100-amp breaker using number 2 copper conductors, several factors need to be considered to determine if it complies with the National Electrical Code. Firstly, the ampacity of the number 2 copper conductors must be verified. As mentioned earlier, number 2 copper conductors are typically rated for 60 amps. Secondly, the load on the 60-foot feeder must be calculated. The load must not exceed the ampacity of the number 2 copper conductors. Thirdly, the overcurrent protection requirements must be evaluated. The 100-amp breaker is protecting the larger conductors upstream, but it may not be providing adequate protection for the number 2 copper conductors. If the 60-foot feeder is acting as a tap, it must meet the requirements outlined in the tap rule. If it does not meet these requirements, it must be protected by a separate overcurrent protection device that is sized to match the ampacity of the number 2 copper conductors. The National Electrical Code provides detailed information on how to properly size and protect conductors and overcurrent protection devices. It is essential to consult the National Electrical Code and other applicable codes and standards when designing and installing electrical systems. Understanding the tap rules and the requirements for overcurrent protection is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical systems. In summary, a tap conductor is a conductor that is connected to an overcurrent protection device that is rated higher than what is normally allowed for that conductor's size. The tap rule outlines the specific requirements that must be met when using tap conductors. Overcurrent protection devices are designed to protect conductors and equipment from damage caused by excessive current flow. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be carefully selected to match the ampacity of the conductor it is protecting. When working with electrical systems, it's crucial to understand the concept of overcurrent protection and the tap rules. Always consult the National Electrical Code and other applicable codes and standards when designing and installing electrical systems. By understanding these concepts, you can ensure that your electrical systems are safe and compliant with the applicable codes and standards. Remember that electricity can be dangerous, and it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician when working with electrical systems. Incorrect wiring or improper overcurrent protection can create a fire hazard or electrocution risk. Therefore, it is essential to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Furthermore, the National Electrical Code is updated regularly, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest changes. This will help you ensure that your electrical systems are compliant with the latest codes and standards. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may be other applicable codes and standards that you need to follow, such as local building codes and regulations. It is important to check with your local authorities to determine which codes and standards apply to your project. By following all applicable codes and standards, you can ensure that your electrical systems are safe, reliable, and compliant with the law. The information presented here is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer before making any decisions about your electrical system. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Therefore, it is always best to hire a qualified professional to perform electrical work. This will ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your electrical systems are safe, reliable, and compliant with the applicable codes and standards. This will help you protect yourself, your family, and your property from the hazards of electricity. Always remember to prioritize safety when working with electrical systems. Electricity is a powerful force that can be dangerous if not handled properly. Therefore, it is essential to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Finally, continuous learning is essential in the electrical field. Staying up to date with the latest technologies, codes, and best practices will help you provide the best possible service to your customers and ensure the safety of your electrical systems. By investing in your education and training, you can become a valuable asset to the electrical industry and contribute to the safety and reliability of electrical systems.